It's wrestling, not sports entertainment!
If I had no idea, I'd say the Calcos was mad.
Nah, he seems fine.
Yeah, he's probably okay.
Judging by all the other times, like this is like a 4 for him.
All right, so we all got together and watched the Flintstones blurk blurk blurk. I don't even remember.
WWE, Flintstones, WWE, Stone Age, Smackdown.
Some watched it against their will.
Yep.
Stone Age dick down.
And where do we start with this?
That's a good place to start.
The mental hospital bills, the physical mutilation.
We need to see the eye doctor as well.
The destroyed childhood. Zach, where should we start?
Well, I guess we should just get right to the point. Hi, I'm Toon. That's Key. That's Nikki, and that's Calcos. We're the Haymakers. Keyframe's kind of like on the side because I dragged her into this. Yeah,
yeah. Thank you, buddy. You guys are the Haymakers. I'm the Hanna-Barbera Shaker. So anyway.
On the last episode of Toon Key Reviews Something, we talked about Scooby-Doo Adventures the Mystery Map, and I decided, hey, you know what? Key's coming down with me. We're gonna go talk about Flintstones WWE. In short, maybe not the best idea I've ever had, but Stone Age Smackdown. This is gonna be a little review of sorts of it. We just finished watching it, so our thoughts are fresh out of the oven. Well, here's how it's going to go. We're going to go by what we liked and what we didn't like, and we're going to start with, let's see. Let's do Keyframe, Calcos, and Nikki, then me.
Okay. So I'm supposed to say what I liked?
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a short list. What I liked about Stone Age Smackdown. I'll give it this. Besides the one voice, which I will rant about whenever we get to what we didn't like, the voice acting wasn't bad. I mean, you got Jeff Burgum and Tress MacNeille back, and they do great jobs of voicing Fred and Wilma. Grey DeLisle does a pretty good job as Betty. The wrestlers were actually pretty funny. I think they took some acting lessons. And, yeah, that was okay. Then I will say the last wrestling scene was actually well choreographed. I can give it that on top of WrestleMania Mystery. And oh God, I'm really grasping at straws here. I will say this. The most entertaining part about this movie is CM Punk. I don't think that's supposed to be a good thing.
No, it is. That is a very good thing.
Like, CM Punk is, like, one of the best wrestlers of, at the very least, our generation.
And they didn't make John Cena God tier like they did last time. They had one little God tier moment, but overall, he was actually balanced out with The Undertaker and, who was the other guy?
Mysterio Bull.
Mysterio. That will be when we get to the part that we didn't like.
Okay, my favorite part about this movie is that if you're a wrestling fan and you understand the WWE as a business or as an industry, it's very, very meta. Like, a good example of this is that if you look at the cover of Stone Age Smackdown, right in the middle, in the middle of everything, is Daniel Bryan is about to wrestle John Cena.
No, actually, I hate to correct you, Calcos, but it's actually Undertaker.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Well, it's still meta because Daniel Bryan, being one of the most over superstars that the WWE has seen in years, has 45 seconds of time in the movie.
Yes.
45 seconds.
Yes.
And they use him just for one Looney Tunes-y joke.
and the yes chant. That's it.
It would have been funny if, like, in a post-credit scene, you just see him, like, walking around the world, just keep going, yes, 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 like he's never stopped.
This reflects the meta of the company as a whole, because you have Daniel Bryan, one of their most over guys, and they keep looking at him like, oh, he's only over because of the yes chant. That's the only reason. And that's the only thing that he did in the entire movie. 45 seconds of a Looney Tunes joke, and then the yes, yes, yes chant. That's it. That is it. So if you're looking at this movie and you want to see Daniel Bryan, you are shit out of luck.
Don't you think it would have made more sense if they just put Mysterio on the cover instead of Daniel Bryan? Because Mysterio and Taker and Cena were the three main WWE stars in this, besides like Punk and Henry.
Yeah, they really were.
Yeah. And can I just say, bless those wrestlers' hearts for having a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially Undertaker.
Yeah. Oh, Undertaker's the only one without a rock pun in his name, by the way.
Because he's the fucking Undertaker.
Because
Yes,
he's the fucking Undertaker.
it's amazing because when you look at the credits, like they have like, John Cena as John Cena Stone and all this stuff. And then at the last credit is The Undertaker as The Undertaker.
I'm still a little bit disappointed that The Rock didn't appear in this, but yeah.
They couldn't afford him.
Yeah, I do like that the movie has a sense of humor about itself. Definitely. It's very, very self-aware. So if you're a big wrestling fan and you know the WWE as an industry, you'll have a good time watching it just for that alone.
Yeah, and that's something I could put above also WrestleMania Mystery, because it didn't seem like they were self-aware with how stupid the concept was. They were playing it straight in WrestleMania Mystery. Here they actually, they use the cartoon medium to its fullest.
I think they realized their mistakes in WrestleMania Mystery and decided to make things a little bit more enjoyable, because I'll just say this right now. Since me and Keyframe are the only two people here that saw WrestleMania Mystery, we did a review on it. And honestly, Key, do you think this is better than WrestleMania Mystery? Because I sure do.
Oh, yeah, I do. Because, I will say that it did actually get a couple chuckles out of me. WrestleMania Mystery did not. It just got me, annoyed groans. And this one was definitely a groaner, too, but in a more, masochistic, funny way. This is the kind of, when you stub your toe, but you could laugh about it, while WrestleMania is, a kick in the crotch, multiple times. And you don't
try
even know
laughing.
why. Yeah, and you can't even figure out why you were getting kicked. You're just like, why am I getting kicked in the balls so many times? This is much more watchable than WrestleMania Mystery, because they actually do try in many areas. The voice actors are actually trying and all that stuff. It's definitely more watchable.
Nikki?
Well, the animation was good in a couple of places here and there, when
a couple.
Yeah, a very, very couple. That made no sense. But when the Undertaker came out and they had the fog going on behind him, that looked kind of cool. Some of the wrestling looked pretty good, and the references, the meta stuff, was kind of interesting. And Undertaker absolutely stole the show, in my opinion, because you've got the biggest, baddest dude in the WWE in the last 20 years, and he's saying stuff like, "Your ice cream is melting."
I'm sorry, I fucking lost it when he was in those pink tights. I'm like, oh
yes,
my
okay,
god.
Okay.
Does this make my butt look big?
Yes, it's if you ever wanted to see the Undertaker wearing pink hot pants.
First of all, you have extremely
detailed
specific fetishes, but please go on.
If you ever wanted to see the Undertaker in pink hot shorts, with clearly defined butt cheeks, you got your movie right there in front of you. And they also drew the bulge in, so if you enjoy that, please go seek help. But yes.
Either you're Michelle McCool or you're weird.
It makes sense, though, that they animated the bulges, because the bulges have been there since wrestlers started wearing tights. That's just how it is.
I know,
much,
but it's whenever they put Barney in the wrestling tights, he didn't have one drawn on him. So it's it's weird.
Good point.
It's one of the weird things with, this is one of the things that I guess we're getting to the Nick, did you have any other things that you liked about it?
Not off the top of my head. This one, you guys are talking about how it was funny, at least in a meta way. I was just watching it like, I hate everyone.
No, I don't. It was masochistically funny. Like this is sort of like the funny that I was getting from it is like when you watch The Room or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Like a movie you know is bad.
Oh, no. I get what you mean by that. And like you guys were enjoying it for that. But I was just sitting through it like, this is like homework.
I know it was a chore to sit through. I was just like, was this only like 60 minutes long? Because it felt so much.
Oh, that's
longer.
one of the good things. It was mercifully short.
Mercifully.
Yeah. But
If
Zach,
I
what did
may.
you like about the movie?
Here's the thing. I'm actually kind of glad that I was proven wrong because I kept seeing trailers for this and I kept seeing TV spots and advertisement for Stone Age SmackDown, and I'm just like, this is going to be fucking terrible. This is going to be worse than Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery. And in fact, it turned out to be the exact opposite. I'm not going to lie, I actually kind of enjoyed this. And this is a good thing and a bad thing. I'm glad that it was proven wrong, but god damn it, I'm upset because I really don't have a lot to complain about with this movie.
Oh, I do.
mean, other than
Hi.
other than like nitpicking like the plot elements and how the characters act and some of the animation.
Oh, that's nitpicking. The characters that this movie is supposed to revolve around. That's nitpicking. Okay.
Shush your face. Hold on. Let me just say this. I'm going to agree with Calcos on the whole meta thing because it was self-aware at a lot of points, and I really dig self-aware meta humor. I'm glad that they were able to utilize the wrestlers that they were given to the fullest. You didn't accept Daniel Bryan. Fuck you. Just fuck you. It was literally a big old fuck you. But everybody else, they fucking Cena Stone, Undertaker, Mysterio Bull, Punk Rock, Marble Henry, the Boulder Twins, at least they used everybody to their advantage except Daniel Bryan. But
the Boulder Twins wasn't used that great too.
They were used about as well as they are on the show.
Well, I mean, like they could have had Wilma and Betty to punch them in the face, but no, girls can't get hurt.
It would have been kind of cool if we got the Bella Twins versus Wilma and Betty.
clearly you haven't seen Lucha Underground.
Well, I know in Lucha, like in that sort of stuff, there's no like weight class and all that stuff, so.
Yeah. On the up and up, also, concerning the story, it started out pretty slow and stupid, but by the end, you enjoyed it. That's the big thing I have with this movie. As stupid as it was, I find it was so bad, it was enjoyable. It's enjoyable for me to mock.
It was something that your mind starts to turn off to.
Pretty much, yeah. My mind actually is just like, you know what? Fuck it. What were you expecting when it comes to this?
It's like that one scene from The Simpsons where it's like, okay, you can stay, but I'm leaving, and your brain just leaves.
Pretty much. So that's what we liked. Oh boy, now here we go to what we didn't like. Keyframe.
Okay, I'm gonna have much more to say. Okay, keep in mind, people, I'm not a wrestling fan. I don't actively watch it. I have somewhat of a sense of who these people are. Like, I know who they are, but I don't watch wrestling. I watch the Flintstones. I watch all Hanna-Barbera cartoons. God damn, as a Flintstones movie, this was terrible. Okay, the wrestlers, it's bad when your guest stars are better portrayed than your actual characters that have been established for over 40 years.
What, you don't think they did that on purpose? This is WWE we're talking about. They did that on purpose.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Gotta make Cena look strong.
I could tell they had WWE writers writing this who probably never really watched Flintstones. They probably were just like, hey, here's a best of Flintstones like fucking DVD. Here, watch that. Now you got 30 minutes to write a special.
Okay, let me talk about the characters. Okay, the characters. Fred is an asshole. He's always been an asshole. But he's not as much of an asshole in the original series as he was here. He had some common sense in the original series. Here, he was dumb as shit. And then and then you just have Barney, who was actually the closest to his character out of everyone that was an established character in the series that was in this film. And I can't even stand Barney in this movie because of his voice actor. Kevin Michael Richardson should not be Barney. His voice does not fit. He's like this weird raspy tone. He's not raspy. Hell, Rick Moranis knew this when he did the live action movies. Also, they referenced Rockapulco. That was in the live action movies. I bet it was in the show too, but I don't fucking care. Then you have obvious fan service with the Boulder twins, which it's sort of their purpose. Let's not lie. And then you have Wilma in a bikini. And the characters were just very poorly written. And the story it took so long to get to where we got to, where CM Punk Rock comes in and the plot actually starts moving. I think it was a good 20 minutes. And in movie time, that is basically 1/4 of the movie. You could have started it, you could have made the intro much shorter. I mean, they literally have a scene in the beginning of the movie where it's just a traffic jam. Cut that part of the movie and nothing would have changed. And then you got the animation. Okay, let me state this. Flintstones was a limited animated series, limited animation. It's a prime example of it. It was the first primetime animated TV series, so of course it had a short budget. But here's the thing: when you have newer animation, when you had Scooby-Doo, which also had a limited budget, when they moved it forward in the evolution of animation, they made it look better. And they still somewhat had a Scooby-Doo aesthetic with how they designed things, but it was still more fluid. The colors were better, overall. This one it was being lazy with it, especially with the backgrounds. If you're going the foreground background, which is right in the middle, the houses and stuff, it looks fine. But then you go into the background, just nothing. And here's the thing. The character animation in it is also at some points it looks okay, but for a huge majority of it, and especially in the scene where you have the Hopperoo beating up all the wrestlers and then CM Punk coming in, it looks like the Spumco parodies of Hanna-Barbera cartoons that he made with Boo Boo's Day Out and A Day in the Life of Ranger Smith and the Jetsons one and everything. This looks like the Missing Flintstones one that they made for John Kay. Also, the colors. It's a nitpick from me, I guess, but the colors look like from Teen Titans Go, and I don't like that. They were very saturated, and it hurt my eyes, especially Barney, because his brown thing looked red, and his hair was mustard yellow, and it just looked bad. I'm just going to say one more thing. I could see the self-awareness and the meta humor when it came to the wrestling stuff. They could have also done it with the Flintstones stuff, and it could have been a better balanced movie humor-wise. Because as someone who's never watched WrestleMania, I couldn't get into the movie. If you're someone who's a hardcore fan of WrestleMania and you can get all the jokes and stuff, you're going to get something out of this movie. But as someone who's just a fan of the Flintstones or just a casual viewer, you're not going to get anything out of this.
The biggest thing I don't like is... honestly, Key basically nailed everything that's wrong with the movie, but my biggest problem is it's a problem I have again with the whole industry as a whole with WWE. It's wrestling. It's not sports entertainment. And when I watch this kind of movie, they try to force it so much. And this is for kids. No kid on earth refers to wrestling as sports entertainment. They refer to it as wrestling because that is what it is. These wrestlers are not superstars. They're wrestlers. The product is not sports entertainment. It's wrestling. That is what it is. And with this cartoon, they're force-feeding it so hard that it becomes cringy at times. Very, 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 very cringy. Even if you're not a fan of wrestling, you understand what they're trying to do because they never say the words wrestle or wrestling in the entire thing. Ever. It's always sports entertainment or performing or fighting.
Or putting on a show.
And it's so cringy. It made it very hard to watch at times, even though I enjoyed this movie from a masochistic point of view, because it was funny at times and the meta was good, but it just goes to show the lengths that Vincent McMahon will go to kill the word wrestling. Even though he could move heaven and earth to try to do it, it's never gonna happen.
And Calcos, tell the lovely audience what McMahon was doing in this movie.
He was starting up sports entertainment. A big part of this is that Fred is at a charity ball or whatever, and they start a thing where there's a boxing ring, and they box Barney's pet, their kangaroo. And CM Punk, there's a whole bunch of people that come in and get beat up, and eventually CM Punk comes in and starts ridiculing the kangaroo because he's a heel in this movie. Around the time this movie was produced, he was a heel. And they couldn't release it until now because CM Punk walked out and fucked everything up. But,
What an asshole.
yeah, what an asshole.
Hey, don't be talking shit about my waifu. Shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, your waifu was lovely animated in this movie too.
Oh god,
Yeah, and
CM Punk was such an asshole in this. I'm like, god
He
damn it!
really
Couldn't he have been
was.
one of the heroes? Couldn't have Marble Henry just carried this on his own?
He was
God damn it.
well. It was funny. It was funny in one scene. He was threatening Barney, and then they were walking away with Steve Harvey with ice cream, and Steve Harvey was like,
Steve Harvey. It's Marble Henry. You uncultured wrestling swine.
I think you need to. I think
the nicer ass than you.
I
But
think
anyway,
she needs to
okay.
watch WrestleMania 30. I think the thing is that Vince McMahon, at the end of the movie, what happens is that Fred stumbles onto the wrestling industry on accident thanks to CM Punk Rock and John Cena, what the fuck ever.
Cena
Cena
Stone.
Stone.
Cena Stone, thank you. And he starts this scheme, as he is wont to do, to start making money doing wrestling. And at the end, he figures, he's not worth it. So Vince McMahon basically takes over and says, this'll be big in 65 million years. And I'm just, what the fuck? What the fuck, man?
he's selling raw fish.
McMahon, I understand you love to jerk yourself off. You're only human, but don't show it to us. Don't
show us your wrinkly caveman dick.
Don't make it so
do it.
incredibly obvious.
So yeah, my biggest problems are the forcing of sports entertainment as a term instead of wrestling, which is what it actually is, and the whole plot line leading up to Vince McMahon taking the industry. I wanted to leave some of the stuff for you guys because Keyframe took a lot of it, as she should. But
She's
Nick,
the
what's up?
animation expert here.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Nick, what's up?
The animation on the whole was lazy as hell. Like, I get that they were trying to replicate the style of the I almost said the Simpsons, of the Flintstones of the 60s, but the problem is it's kind of hard to tell whether that was an homage or whether that was just plain laziness.
Yeah, because sometimes you have these really fluid motions, but like it's like they save their budget for the really bad CGI in the dream sequence. Like the dream sequence and the wrestling scenes are like the most fluidly animated, and everything else was just like really badly designed.
Yeah, there was. I actually noticed a scene in the movie where they had the repeating backgrounds like they did in the old days, and I'm like, it is 2015. God damn it! Animate something, please.
It could have been
Yeah, and
worse.
it's-
This whole special could have been in CGI.
Yeah, and I mean like they had like the and it's like one of the other things, the scene that was replicating Office Space, it's one of those background things. If you look down, all those little buildings that they have below the passway, they look like they were drawn by like a first grader. They put barely any effort into anything.
They were just like squares with another square for a door and another square for a window.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
a circle, and it was just like and also you could put this in either in the good or bad. They have internet in the Stone Age. How
This
does
is
this
a
work?
complete nitpick, though.
I know. No,
They had
I just
tablets.
want to. They had tablets and computers, because here's
And
the
cell phones.
and cell phones. Like they were like I was looking in the boss's office, and he had a computer, and then you go into Fred's house and he has a desktop computer, and then you have the Undertaker on an iPad looking at a cat tumbler.
Because we got to keep up with the modern age somehow, even though they're in
We're
the
in
Stone
the-
Age.
No,
Even-
the whole point is that they're trying to connect to kids, but they're using a cartoon from the 60s to do it. Because that is
a
how
cartoon
out
in
of
the
touch
60s set in the Stone Age.
that is how out of touch Vince McMahon is. Nick, you got anything else?
The voice acting for Barney was just painful to listen to.
It was terrible.
I applauded when he fell into the grave.
Wow, that's mean.
No, it's sad because I like Kevin Michael Richardson.
What else was there? I know there was other stuff that pissed me off. The treatment of Daniel Bryan was just sad. It wasn't that entertaining for me. Like, there wasn't any parts in the movie that just made me go, oh, that was really cool, even if it is in just kind of a so bad it's good kind of way. It just felt like I was doing this because you guys wanted me to.
You were just sort of sinking into your chair like...
Yeah. I'm a little sad to say there was a moment in the movie where I was checking my phone. Just like that scene when The Undertaker was doing that in the middle of a match for some dumb reason.
Yeah. Anyway, Zach, what were your complaints about the movie?
Okay, so I didn't like how they portrayed CM Punk in this. Even though he was a heel at the time, I felt
that he was hilarious.
I'll give him credit that he
gave it his all in that voice acting. He
made do with what he was given. I give him major props for that, but I still think that they could have used somebody else to be the villain. Let's
Orton?
see. Oh God, I don't think Orton would want to be in this. He'd be like, "No, fuck this."
If
you
Punk
imagine?
said yes to this, I don't think he had a choice.
I'm surprised that they didn't utilize more comedy talent for this, but you know what? That's fine. I think that who they got for this, but the utilization of it in here, like I said, other than Daniel Bryan's treatment and a little bit of Punk's treatment, it's. I guess I really didn't like how they portrayed Mark Henry either, because he was just basically the lackey, and I'm like,
He was the most cartoony looking out of all of them.
He was.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing. Like, it somewhat popped up in the WrestleMania mystery. It's really weird when you have all these really simply designed cartoon characters, and then you have the guest stars, and they are drawn completely proportional. It just doesn't look right. And the only one that looks cartoony is Mark Henry.
I think also, I guess I really just have nitpicks, but I think my major complaint above all else is that I really didn't like the story.
The story was
I didn't
shit.
I didn't like the twists and turns that it went through. Granted, like I said, they utilized what they were given, but they really could have done it a lot better. But then again, it was better than Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery, so I'll take what I get here. So
I kind of like how when The Undertaker said friends, I sort of had like this little flash in my head if The Undertaker was in My Little Pony.
You know, you are my
Celestia.
very best friends.
Overall, what do we give this movie out of 10?
I give it a yabba dabba don't out of 10.
Excellent.
By the way, they barely say yabba dabba do. Did they even say yabba dabba do
Yes,
once?
they did twice.
Let's yabba dabba do this.
Oh, 3 times then.
I give it a you'll need to be Flintstoned in order to watch it out of 10.
Nikki?
I don't have a pun ready for this. Damn it.
Normally I guess you could say it hit rock bottom.
Ah, there's my pun.
No, that can't be a pun because the rock bottom is great.
Ah, right. I'll be fair and I'll give this a 7 out of 10. I'll give this a C.
Oh, okay. Well, if we're giving
a C for Cockstone.
In the end, Stone Age SmackDown was not as bad as I think any of us were expecting it to be, and it tried. It did better than WrestleMania Mystery, and I think at the end it was just harmless, self-aware, fourth wall breaking,
Fluff.
Fun.
I say fluff. Yeah.
I say fun. Thank you guys for
no. Hey, Toon Critic. You know what? I have to give you something, man. You know, you brought me along on all these fun little adventures with your little wrestling fun, and I want to thank you. And I think you and I should share something from a different genre, something that was beautiful and a very widely known film. See you next time with Scooby-Doo Moon Monster Madness. Good night, everybody.
Excuse me.